If you want to improve your relationships and add more joy and life to them, then I got something for you.
This is Soraya Altana. I'm a life designer, and you have the power to change in an instant.
And you know what happens is when we are in relationships and something happens, something goes wrong, the other person, our significant other, our child, our mom, dad, our friend, whoever it is, they have done something that we feel that we are as victims, right? They are to blame. And what happens is we start pointing fingers. We start using words and language like, it's your fault. It's not my fault. It's your fault. I'm not to blame. They are to blame, right? So I realize as I work with people that I hear this constantly. Whenever there's chaos in a relationship, whether it's a family, whether it's a couple or the whatnots, somebody is to blame for. Somebody is at fault. And the problem with being at fault is that fault, and by definition, brings guilt, right? And guilt by definition demands punishment. So if you're imagine that you're in a relationship and you have somebody pointing the finger at you and saying it's your fault constantly, not once, but constantly, right? What happens is instead of being in the same team, now we have crossed the table. Now we are sitting across the table. Now we're not being in the same team. What we're being is antagonistic. We're being judgmental, right? We're feeling the criticism, and we take it as criticism. However, the other person feels like, I'm not criticizing you, I'm just saying it's your fault, right? But what happens really when we are in that situation? If you're like me or any other human on the planet, is you start feeling the weight of that, right? Of you being feeling like you're in the wrong doing that. It's you doing wrong. It's your fault, right? And that what it does, it causes people to shrink. It causes you to not only feel not good, but now you're distancing yourself from that person, right? You want to break away. You don't feel comfortable. That's what happens if you are on the other side. And what happens if you're the one pointing fingers, many times you want to be right. You want to be right about them being wrong. And the problem is that when you're doing that, again, you're in the other side of the table. And by you making that person wrong, then nobody wins. The relationship goes south. Because this is not like we're in the same boat, but because I am so punishing you, I am adding so much weight to your side of the boat that I don't realize that his side of the boat is sinking, their side of the boat is sinking, but all right, I am just going up, but yes, I'm about to go down, right? We don't realize that. So my invitation to you is, if you want to take responsibility in your relationships, not for your relationships, in your relationships, then you must watch the video that I'm posting here where you know how to spell responsibility, right? Responsibility, your ability to respond to something. You're the leader and you see what's missing. And that comes with the phrase. The phrase is one of the most amazing phrases that has changed my life. And that phrase reads, if it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. What does that mean? That means that if something is going to be here, if I want something in the relationship, if I want the joy, the peace, the love, the understanding, then guess what? I'm not going to wait for those people to do it, for whoever it is. I am taking responsibility. I have my ability to respond and bring it to the relationship. I am the one that is going to extend the mercy card. I am the one that is not going to make them wrong because they left the glass at the edge of the table and it was about to fall, and I knew it, and I told them, and I told you so, right? And it felt. Now, if that would have been a guest, we would have reacted entirely different. What would be the case scenario if that was a guest, right? We would say, oh, don't worry about it. Yes, it broke, but let's just clean it up. Oh, no worries. Nothing happened, right? But when it is somebody that is within the realm of your relationships, if you're not careful, then you will fall prey of the phrase that is so true, that says, familiarity breeds contempt. You stop looking at that person with the same eyes of admiration because you're seeing their flaws. You're seeing all their humanity involved in that one person, and you stop appreciating things about them. And what happens is now you say, I told you, you always do the same, you never listen, you are this and you're that, and you're passing judgment. You're at the other side of the table, you're becoming antagonistic. Oneness has gone. There is not oneness, because what you're creating is a division and you don't see it. You say, but I'm right. I always tell people, you can be right or you can be happy, right? Until you learn to be right by raising your standard, raising your values and your morals, that, you know what, they become 80% of your decisions already made. What does that mean? That if, for me, it's important to me to be in a loving relationship, in a forgiving relationship, right? Then I already bring it as my second nature. It's part of my identity. So when the glass falls, I already know, because it's ingrained in me, that I'm not screaming, I'm not kicking, and I don't need to do 2 flips in the air because they were on this, right? You will feel like they need to be hung from a sour apple tree, right? However, when you have embodied that, then you can play a different game. You can play a different number. And how? Because you are making it happen. Because if it's to be, if the love, the compassion, that which you want, the companionship, right? The trust, the respect, if it's to be, then guess what? Hashtag yes me. I am going to put it there. I am the one that is going to extend the mercy card. I am the one that is going to pick it up with no complaints, right? Maybe there's another time where we can talk about it so that these things don't repeat themselves. However, that's for another video. But you do not want to be hurting your relationships because you want to be proven right, right? You can be right or you can be happy. Choose as you're learning how to develop these relationships. So that is what I'm inviting you to do, is to put it there, to be the kind of person that you put what's missing, and you put the love, you put the compassion, you put the understanding, you put the respect, you put the admiration. You start doing this, your relationships will change. This is Soraya Altana. I am your #1 life designer and relationship strategist, and I am so happy that you're here. I'm gonna invite you to share this video if you have liked it. Let's share knowledge. Let's share the goodness of life. And I'm also inviting you to click on one of these links below. There's always something for you. I'd love to see you in our next episode. And in the meantime, I'm inviting you to design a life that you love. God bless you.
You have the power to change in an instant.